Welcome to part 2 of the Basilica Nova tutorial. Let's pick up right where we left off. Alright, so last time we spent an awful lot of time on the floor, so today we can make some pretty rapid progress, till we get to the ceiling anyway, by putting in the walls. First things first though, I'm going to show you, even though the Royal Lions here have their own tutorial, I'm going to show you slice by slice of that. I think it should be sufficient to see it here. I'm not going to go into too great of a detail though. We do have some upside down stairs here at the back there. Some here on the side. And the first of several ornamental diamond blocks we have through the building. The next step here, we want to place down the bases for our Corinthian columns. It's just, 8 blocks of tuff, and then whatever filler block you want to put inside that. Let's start with the door back here. So, if you remember, we didn't have a door, so I made the whole thing solid. But right here, I think you would want to place down probably a dark oak door would be my preferred door for here. And then we have some waxed cut copper on either side of that. Then at the front here, we have tuff. A bit of a stone brick filler behind that in a couple of places, so that should probably just be tough again. And then just extending that up right on top of the cobbled deep slate we laid down. And then turning the corner and doing the same thing. Tough right on top of the cobbled deep slate. And the pattern for the rest of the series will be, we'll take a look at the exterior first, and then the interior after that. Alright, right here at the back, most of that's just straight lines. Turn the corner, straight line again, and then right on top of the cobbled deep slate. Here again, curving around back on the apse here, and we're at the other end of the center line here. So, let's return to the front. Of course, you want to do both sides. Remember, the building is symmetrical. If we divide it in twain down the center line here, what we have on that side is a mirror image of what we have on this side over here, so it's sufficient to show you half of the building, because the other half is just a mirror image of what you've already placed. Alright, so here on the inside we have some calcite along the baseboards for the wall. Let me get a good top-down view of this though, so you can see the block counts behind that to help you get the spacing correct. I think that's a lot better for me to do than laboriously counting around 1, 2, 3 for everything. At least that's how I would want it done, so that's how I do it. And here along the walls, we're doing the same thing. We've got the cutouts here for the calcite, and otherwise they're straight runs. They're cut out, straight run, and then back here at the wall. With our little apses here at the end, the little wall niches. Right there. And then turn the corner, we of course have the large apse at the end of the building. Right there. All right, so here in the middle of the building, we of course have these piers here. You remember, if I go back to this phase, you remember this little cutout we had here in the floor? Well, on top of that, you want to place down the calcite here, and that is of course what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks of spacing. And then what looks to be, 5 blocks of calcite, and then 2 there, and then 2 sticking out here. As you remember, this is the combination of a wall and a Corinthian pilaster. Got 2 of those, for a total of just 4 piers inside the building. Otherwise, except for those 4 piers, the building is, of course, rather spacious. And that's what we get with this particular design of Basilica. We don't have a ton of, we don't have a big forest of columns taking up all the space. I meant to mention last time, Basilica Nova here, I talked about precursor buildings for this. There are some, but they were all used in Roman bathhouses, actually. And whoever did this design decided that that was a really good idea, so they took out the center section of a Roman bathhouse and turned it into a basilica, and added some more things to it. Which is probably why they needed the extra buttressing, I would assume. because this building would be the what? Probably the tepid arium of a bathhouse, I would think. All right, so next step here for the Royal Lions. I'm just going to go cursory glance at these here. You don't have to get it just exactly right. I mean, it's a fairly organic shape, so it's a little bit more forgiving than other things here. We just got some stairs and some slabs. And that's a stair there. All right, so it goes without saying, of course, the lions are both the same. They're just flipped. See, we have the tail on this end over here, but of course we're flipping it so the tail would be on that end over here. So do remember, it's a little bit more complicated, but do remember we're mirroring the lion as well. So here, on top of the tuff, we've got stone brick stairs, 8 of those, and then some stone brick pillar behind that on all 4 of the columns. On the pilasters back here, we've got the same deal beside the door. Bit of obsidian there, or I guess this would be where your dark oak door would be. And a bit of diorite, and then the stairs again, just like so. We're bending the stairs around the building and around the base of the pilasters. And it looks like there's some extra cobblestone behind that where there probably shouldn't be. Those are just filler blocks, but you can go ahead and place that in if you want to. It's not that much cobble. All right, so let's scan around the outside. You can see on top of the tuff, we're mostly placing down stairs, but on the projecting sections here, we're placing down full blocks of stone bricks. Just like so, stone bricks around the corner here, and then bending the stone bricks here around the apse. Just like so. So there's our central line, so that's the exterior. Let's go back to the door, take a look at the interior now, with the calcite and the quartz, the plain quartz here, or the smooth quartz, or whatever it's called now, and the chiseled quartz beside that. So as you can see here, that's mostly going just straight on top of the calcite that we put down. So you can go around the base of the building, and that'll be a pretty easy thing. Just slap down the chiseled quartz right on top of the calcite, all the way back to the apse, without exception. The same deal goes for the 4 piers and the middle of the room as well. And that's all there is to it. Next phase, let's take a look at the lion here. Real quick. If you want a slightly longer, more in-depth version of the Royal Lion, of course, I can talk. It has its own tutorial video named the Royal Lion. But I thought I would just go over it here because it's a small thing, and some people don't like having to click on multiple videos. So here we have a 2x2 diorite for the column shafts, for the Corinthian columns, 4 out front, and then along the back here we have 8. So you can go ahead and place those down. But the main reason I separated out the lines and gave them their own tutorial is because I use them in multiple buildings, and some people, you would end up having to click on multiple videos for that anyway, so. But it's not just a tactic to get you clicking on many videos, unless you actually want to put up the building. So here we've got stone bricks along the walls here on the outside, just straight on top, 1 block back from the stairs, and then right on top of the projections here. Which these here are, of course, you'll see later on, but these are attached buttresses for the building. All right, so here for the apse, we've got stone bricks here, just right behind the stairs, just like so. Torch on the center line. Let's go back to the door. Calcite for the interior door frame. Diorite for the exterior. And then we have the stairs here. A bit of cut copper behind that. That's where our windows are going to start going in. And here, right on top, pretty much, except for a couple of places, we have the full, we have combinations of stairs here. And then back here, we're going to have the full blocks of quartz. And I'm not sure why there's a stair there. That's just a filler block. Oh, there's one on either side. I rebuilt these apses a couple of times, so I guess I didn't get all the old blocks out whenever I did that. But you can see here, so just quartz on top of that, and then stairs, and then three block lines of cut copper with 2 blocks spacing. And then, of course, you want to repeat that 1, 2, 3 times down the length of the building. And then back here for the apse at the back for these little niches. And then here for the apse. We do have a couple of stairs here, though. These are, remember, our Corinthian pilasters. Just like so. And same deal. We have, of course, our Corinthian pilasters here again. 6 stairs and 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 blocks of quartz and whatever filler block you want behind that. For all 4 of those, and that's all there's to that one. Let's go on to the next phase. I think we'll probably get to the level of a bit of the roof today. I think we're definitely in for a 3-parter though. But I'll go as far as I can. So here we have deep slate tiles and deep slate stairs. Well, deep slate tile stairs. I really like those. And then some cut copper behind that. 3 slabs back here. And then the same deal for the lion's head over here as well. And of course, the stairs here represent the lion's mane. And of course, we have a big copper and diamond bauble there for like a royal chain around the lion. Little decoration. So extend up all of the diorite column shafts at the front here. All 4 at the front and 8 along the back. For 8, 9, for all 12 of those. And I'm not going to comment on these anymore until we get to the top of the column. So I'll let you do that. We'll take a quick look here at the door. And then here for the windows. It looks like for these windows here, I think for... Did I change all the windows? Yeah, it looks like I did. Okay. I don't remember if I went with panes or glass on that one, but it looks like I did the both. So here we have a full block of glass, a pane, and a full block. And on top of this, we're going to have here a full block and then 2 panes on either side of that. And then we're going to be alternating that as we go up the building. It gives us just a little bit of texture in what would otherwise be a flat space. And here, of course, we couldn't fit in a window because we wanted the apse instead. So that's just a flat-facing wall there. And then here along the side, a bit more cobble. And then here with the windows, this goes right behind the copper that we laid down in a 3:2 ratio. And then here again, the cobble. And I'll zoom out a little. Cobble in the windows and the cobble. And the windows all along the side of the building. Back here, we just fill this in solid. Because we couldn't, I don't know if we could have. Well, not really. I don't know if we could have fit another window there or not. But anyway, it really called for being an apse back here at the back. So, that's what I went with. But I did try and work in windows along the large apse here. So you can see we have combinations of panes and full blocks here. And then here again. And then there as well. And then we're right along the center line here. So let's go back to the door. Take a look at the interior now. Of course, on the walls here, I chose to go with waxed cut copper, the unoxidized one. If you want a different color scheme on the inside of your Basilica, you would probably want to change that now at this phase here. But you know, everyone's going to have a different color they would like. I mean, you could, if you wanted to go with like a green variant, you could use a lot of regular and dark prismarine or something like that in here. But then you would probably want to change the lapis on the ceilings as well. But I just wanted to mention that because I know some people like to change up my color schemes. But I usually go with colors I like the most, so that's what we went with here. But this wasn't the first one. I went through several different, a couple of different colors before I decided that this was actually the appropriate level of brightness and color combination for Basilica Nova. But I think in the actual Basilica Nova, there would have been a lot more marble panels, sort of clamped and glued, or rather plastered in. Well, I don't exactly, they probably used tree resin, I would imagine. I don't know. They stuck them to the wall somehow with a combination of clamps and some adhesive agent. Of course, it's not there now, though. You only see the brick-faced concrete because somebody came along later and probably pried it off and either put it into their villa or a church or something like that. That's generally what happened to all the ancient monuments in Rome. Everything just got recycled. And by that point, Basilica Nova was already a ruin anyway, so it's not like, you know, they were just making the best of what they had, really. All right, so here you can see the copper is pretty much going straight on top of the quartz, with only cutouts for the windows, and a bit of obsidian here and there to help outline things. All right, so that's all. Well, let's take a look at the piers here real quick. Real simple combination. Of course, you remember we went, I decided to go with obsidian for the pilastrons. We needed something, there was so much bright in the building from the white quartz and the copper and everything. We needed some dark verticals. So that's why I went with that for those. Also to help tie in the floor and everything a bit too. All right, now next step here is take a look at the lion. Got to be the lion head here, poking out from the main. And we just have the head to build now on these. And I think, what, 2 more phases on that and these will be done. All right, columns here. Let's take a look at the door real quick, just copper across there. And for the windows, you can see here, we're now reversing the positions of the full glass blocks and the panes. And we're going to be doing that. We're going to be alternating as we go up for every level. Otherwise, we're just going to a cobble phase here now on the exterior. Just right on top of all the cobble you previously placed, put down another layer of cobble. And then just extend up the windows for all 3 sections. We'll just skim by those since they're repeats. Simple corner here at the back. And then here again, we're alternating placement for the windows as well. And I'm going to break the full blocks and put down wool instead here, so it'll be a little bit easier for you to see, for you to differentiate the panes from the previous level. All right, let's go back to the door. Take a look at the interior now. A lot to look at, but not a lot to remark on. We're just extending up the cut copper. So once you do one of the windows, you want to do the other 2 the same. And the apse here at the back. the little niche here at the back, I should say. And then, of course, we already took a look at the large apps here. Take a look at the piers. They're just being extended straight up. All 4 of those. And we can go on to the next phase. All right, here a bit more for the lion stair here, and the rest of it's pretty much full blocks and a stair at the back. Right there. For the crown on top of the royal lion. Over here for the door lintel, we've got just straight diorite and some upside down stairs on either side of that, and then stone bricks on top of all the cobble, and continue with the windows now. Now that we've done 2 blocks of this, we can see that this is a module, so you're going to be building this in 2-block modules as we go up. So let's just scan along the exterior here. You can see stone bricks on top of all the cobble. And just repeat that all the way down the building. Turn the corner. And then here, your same idea that we did with the glass blocks down here at this level. Just repeat that again right there. Same positions and everything. You can use what you've already built as a guide for that. All right, interior. Upside down quartz stairs there on either side of the calcite. And then as you can see here, we're extending up all of the cut copper and the obsidian right along here. Right along the windows on the inside, just straight runs of that there. For the niche on the end here and the apps down here. Just straight up. Same deal for the 4 piers here in the middle, straight up with that. And let's go on to the next phase. So a diamond block here on lion's crown and 4 cut copper behind that, and that's all there is to that. Over here we've got a straight run of upside down stone brick stairs here. Cobble filler behind that. And now we're going back to cobble. For this, as you can see here, we're going to be doing, for every 1 block of stone bricks we have, we're going to have 2 layers of cobble and 1 layer of stone bricks. Then we're going to have another 2 layers of cobble beyond that. We're going to be alternating this little sandwich design as we go. If we want to make it even more accurate, I think we would want to use some kind of some form of brick and then concrete behind that. But because this is Minecraft and cobble and stone bricks are really cheap, we're going to go with that instead. All right, same deal with the windows. Just extend up the cobble, reverse the positions of the glass, and that's all there is to that. Same deal down here, extend everything up. And repeat the pattern of the glass that was 2 blocks below it. All right, quick look at the interior here. We've got some quartz slabs and quartz stairs, just like so, for our little pediment, our little triangular feature we're going to have over the doorway. For the interior, we're just still extending up all of the cut copper all the way around the room. No different details on that, just the copper is just going straight up on top of itself, as is the obsidian for the piers and everything. So next phase, let's put down 1 last block of diamond there. And that's the royal lion statues complete for those, so we can only focus now on the building. So here we have a couple of stone brick slabs right here for a very small exterior pediment. Bit of diorite behind that, and here you can see for the exterior when we want to go around, extend up the cobble and the glass, and just the same patterns that we've been doing. So I'm just going to skim by that. Turn the corner, same deal at the back, going straight up. We don't have to slow down until we get to the arches. So here we've got, as you can see, quartz slabs right there. And then, oh, that's a mistake. And And then what should be behind this should be, I think, calcite. Yes. I didn't notice that. Back here, these 3 blocks back here should definitely be calcite. We shouldn't have interior diorite being exposed. That's an exterior block. Oh well, my mistake. So you'll need 3 extra blocks of calcite to fix that. And around the room here, you can see we're still extending up all of the cut copper and the glass and the obsidian, just like you see down here. Just go straight up all the way around the perimeter of the building. And that's all there is to it. Let's see. Let's take a look at the doorway here. We have 2 more slabs and then stone bricks behind that. And then on the exterior here, you can see we're now going back to a stone brick phase on top of the cobble. We want to lay down a layer of stone bricks around the exterior and keep extending up the windows, just like you see done there. Turn the corner, glass back here in the apse, and stone bricks. All right, interior. 2 slabs of quartz right there, and that'll finish that. And then straight across the back wall with cut copper. Then all around the room again, cut copper and obsidian being extended straight up. Just like that there. Next phase, let's start here over the doorway. So we have just a little window over the doorway, and this is where we start putting that in. So we want to have a little hole for that with some cut copper. Right back there. Otherwise, we're back on the exterior to a cobblestone phase again. And extend up the glass in the windows, just like you've been doing, just straight up with the same pattern modules. All right, back here, same detail for the apse. And for the interior, I think you know the drill. You can see here, we're just extending up the cut copper and the obsidian. All right, so here on the next phase, start here at the front of the doorway with the bit of glass here for this little window, matching the windows on either side of it. And then there's cobblestone on the exterior. Finally, some changes on the interior. But we'll just skim over the exterior because that's just another stacked up cobblestone and glass phase for that. Same deal for the apse. Let's go back to the front here, take a look at it from the inside. And then here we have some changes. We're now putting a little half dome on top of our wall niche. And you want to do that out of calcite. With these overhanging blocks of calcite here for the arches on top of that. Otherwise, we now have some changes here. You remember we have these little connecting arches to connect our interior piers to the exterior wall of the building. So we have for that here, we have just our first blocks of lapis and calcite on either side of that. If you want to get a little bit more fancy, I don't remember if I said in the tutorial, but if you want to get a bit more fancy, you could use, where is that block? You could use this here in place of that. If you're a little bit short of lapis in your world, whoops. You can use blue glazed terracotta here to sort of represent maybe mosaic detail or some coffering that we can't quite work in because of the block scale. For that, the blue glazed terracotta. You want to do the same here for that arch, and we want to do the same thing back here that we did for the other niche at the front. Otherwise, everything in the building is the same. All right, so back here again, exterior, stone bricks and glass. Just like so, you know the drill on that. We'll just kind of skim by that real quick. All right. Let's take a look at the interior now. That's where the changes are. You can see here we've got a little bit more lapis for the interior detail of our half dome, or blue glazed terracotta if you prefer. But I like lapis is a bit more expensive than that, so that's one of the reasons I like to use that. It's just you don't really see this used in builds that often. That's outside of my channel anyway. Even though I use it often, but it's not a commonly used block. Which is a shame. It's got that lovely royal blue color that no other block in Minecraft really quite has. I mean, tube coral is a close second, but other than that. So here we want to extend up the arches right here, 2 blocks. And right there. And then this niche back here is a straight copy of that one at the front. Otherwise, the walls are extended straight up, just like we've been doing. Next exterior phase here. Extend up our glass and our cobblestone, just like so. And we also have some cobblestone stairs now, forming just little, very small arches in our 3-block wide windows. Well, you know, Minecraft, that's as arch-like as we can get. So. And do that the same for all 3 of the window bays. Turn the corner with the cobble. Otherwise, the apse is unchanged. All right, on the interior here, let's start at on the inside. We're echoing the cobblestone stairs on the outside, but we're doing that in here with full blocks of cut copper. Although I suppose if you wanted to, cut copper stairs exist, don't they? I'm pretty sure that they do. Yes, they definitely do. So many blocks in Minecraft, I forget. But anyway, if you want to convert these to some cut copper stairs, that would actually be pretty good to do. But I'll leave it to you to do that. That's just a minor change. Right here at the windows, and here we have for our apse. We can see we now have our little for our wall niche. We can see we have the half dome slowly forming with the overhanging obsidian lapis blocks right there for those. Okay, and bring in the calcite blocks on either side. And then either the full blocks or the stairs, if you prefer, for the window frames there. And then here again, we're edging in the blocks. These should only be 3 blocks apart. Right there. Same detail for this arch here. And same detail as the front niche as the one at the back. All right. So here at the front, just straight cobble. Right across there to cap the window off. And except for the pillars, which you should have been extending up with the diorite, we're just doing a straight cobble across the exterior, just a straight run, except for the little buttresses, all the way around the exterior. But the apse here at the back still has the windows going up higher than that, but with the same patterns. All right, so on the interior, of course, we're doing the same thing with the cut copper. That would really look better if those were stairs. But I'll let you add those. Just a small detail. Because if I think like I would happily spend a whole bunch of time just getting every block just absolutely perfect. But sometimes I will generally do that before I release a building. But sometimes I'll notice things as I'm going through the tutorial that well, what if we did it this way? One of the reasons why buildings take so long, because I'll sit there and look at it and think, well, what if it was this way? That's the joy I get out of doing the building anyway. Being able to take the ancient patterns and think, what if? What if indeed? All right, so we're finishing our little arch across there with the calcite. And the half dome is a little bit bigger behind that there for effect. On the side here, we have just, straight run of cut copper all the way around the walls. And here, of course, we're connecting our arch together here, just like so, for both of those here. Same detail for the back niche as the one at the front. And you've already seen that, so that's all there is. Next phase here, we are doing the stone bricks, just like so. Just straight across, just right on top of all that cobble we put around the perimeter of the building. We're now doing the same thing with stone bricks. Just like that. Turn the corner and stop once you get to the apps here and continue on with the windows. So for the interior here now, we have, I think that this is going to form part of not the full entablature, but it is sort of a string cornice type thing that we're doing at this level. So we want to have the upside down quartz stairs here, and then whatever block you want behind that. And you can see here we do have some more cutouts for taller windows behind that with the copper. So here in the corner, we just want to tuck that in and then continue the cornice along here. It's either like a cornice or a string course, or it's something like that. It's just a decorative molding at a specific level is what it is. And then bend that around here. Stop where we have the pilasters, and then keep going around there. And then all the way around here again, till we get to this pilaster here where we stop with that. And back here, we have just a little bit more, just cap this off with however many blocks of lapis that is. It looks like 9. 9 blocks for that. And that's going to be the little half dome inside of our little niche. Finished here. This is of a suitable size if you perhaps want to put a statue in there. Most of my statues are too large for that, but if you, it'd be a good spot if you have for maybe some smaller ones. If you want to put a few extra blocks here and there, you could perhaps put some armor stands on that, and perhaps a little plaque on each one of those if you wanted to. Might be pretty good. Let's see. I think we are going to need the extra calcite behind this, though. I think. Let me take a look. Yes. Yes, we definitely do need the extra calcite we have here behind the quartz string course. Right there. There. And back here. All right, that's all there is to that one. Here we are back at the front again with the exterior windows. We have a second bay of windows up here inside these sections. And then we're back to cobble. And then back to cobble and the windows. Note the block of quartz of diorite we have here, the poor man's quartz. Just like so here, because if you remember from the tour, we have a large arch incised here. And this is the very bottom of that with the diorite. I think diorite pairs very nicely with stone bricks and cobble and deep slate and tuff and everything. And as you know, I don't generally go in for painting my Roman buildings period correct with like the garish red and everything. Because I really like the more Renaissance aesthetic of leaving everything just, you know, very very bleached and rather careworn with age. All right, interior detailing here. You can see we're doing the same thing with the cutouts for the windows with the cut copper. Extending our obsidian pilasters up through all of that. And then back here we have the lapis for the interior of what is going to be. Remember, we have three very large barrel vaults that we have here. We have the 1, 2, and 3 just hopping over like that there. And we're forming out the bottom of that now with the lapis and the calcite. Now, in actual Basilica Nova, these are made out of concrete. But I'm pretty sure they would have been either plastered or mosaicked over and then painted. But we are adding color on this monument, of course, but we're doing it just on the inside. Because I like to imagine that the building didn't fall down, and it's been standing for all this time, but of course, all the garish red paint and everything has worn off the exterior a long time ago. But the inside survived nicely. But perhaps they were renovated a bit during perhaps the Middle Ages or something, as Roman buildings were wont to have done to them. Even the Pantheon didn't escape that, because quite a lot of the floor in the Pantheon has been replaced, as well as the entire design along the second section of the barrel. It's all the marble niches and everything just below the dome is what was redone and refaced. But the dome itself is still original, of course. But it would have been painted and had probably gilded as well, with gold leaf and everything. But I didn't want to go over the top too much. I mean, we did fill it with shiny cut copper, but I think it balances out really well. But that's just me. All right, let's go on to the next slice. Take a look at the exterior here. Just like so, with the glass and the cobblestone, just like we've been doing this, because everything's the same. Extend up the diorite and the corners here for the base of our very large arches, which we just have. They're extending through the building. It's the same arch as we have on the inside. They're just poking out the outside. And of course, we just have this very plain wall here at the back. You remember I told you it's a very typical Roman building. We didn't spend any money on the back wall at all. Here, though, we do have a couple of upside-down stairs here, though. Like so. Just right there. That's it's like what we did farther down there, but a few levels higher up. All right, back on the inside now. We have some smaller arches inside our big arches here. And we're also going to have our rib vaulting come through that as well. Because once you have, it's more of a later Gothic thing, but we do, even though we have a barrel vault here, if we decide to put another arch in that, we can do diagonal arches that go from here over to here, and then from here over to here. And that's how we get our ribs. Even though when we, you'll see later, when we stand up here, all we'll see is really just from down here a giant X. And that's just really it's a diagonal round arch is really all that it is. But of course that gets, it gets more and more fancy as you go into full Gothic and everything. You get into like spider vaults and fan vaults and a whole bunch of fun stuff. But of course, we are only back in the 300s AD with this, so... Like I said, you can imagine the building was renovated later, and perhaps they decided to redecorate the barrel vaults just a little bit. It wouldn't have been that hard to do. Alright, so once you do one of those, the rest of all this is just the same, it's just repeating the previous pattern that you did over there. You're repeating it down here. And then back here again for, well, we're done with the niche. It's just the other side of the barrel vault. Then on the inside here, we do have now a bit of overhanging copper. Right there. And because these windows here are just a little bit more narrow, we could really only fit one block there convincingly. All right, let's go on to the next phase. We're getting to the top of our Corinthian columns now. Of course, you know what that means. Acanthus leaves. Yes. So with the upside down cobblestone stairs, we want to do that just like so on all four sides of the pillars and all three sides of the pilasters. Oop. Just like so, just like that. There you can see we're just still doing the windows and stone bricks behind that there. And of course, because it's a Roman building, we only care about the front facade, everything around here. That's when we stop spending the money on the Corinthian facade, and it's just plain on the sides and the back. Because most Roman buildings would have a forced perspective like that. You're really only meant to see it from one vantage point. Whereas, of course, the people who built the Pantheon would not, the Parthenon would not like that. They would think, no, your building needs to be exactly geometrically precise, viewed from all angles, with everything curved and nicely compensated. And the Romans were like, no, we're going to be a bit more lazy on that. We're going to make a nice building, but it's going to look impressive on the inside instead of the outside. There we are. Let's take a look now at the interior. Hope you don't mind all the different anecdotes. There's very little for me to talk about in some of these phases, so I kind of waffle on about things. Some people like it. I think most people probably like it. So we've got, now we have our interior Corinthian columns. They're at the same level as the exterior facade, by the way. So, of course, we have now the upside-down stone brick, quartz stairs here on top of that for the pilasters, and then a lot of calcite and lapis behind that. Just like so, upside-down quartz stairs here again. 6 of those. And then this here is just a repeat of that over there, which is a repeat of this one over here again. And then this pilaster here at the back. Only 4 stairs for that one. Otherwise, the rest of it is solid cut copper for the apse. All right, let's go on a little further. I think I can get a few more phases today. So on top of the upside-down cobblestone stairs, go around and place upside-down stone brick stairs on top of all of those for, even more acanthus leaves. Well, Minecraft. Is that as good of acanthus leaves as we can get? Unless you want to make your buildings really big. but at this scale, this is the best we can do. And then just windows and stairs and everything behind that. Then the side of the building is, you guessed it, cobblestone and a bit of diorite here. This one's overhanging a block in, as is that one. And then just repeat that down the side of the building for the 3 arches. And then back here we have an upside down cornice, string cornice, of cobblestone stairs at this level here. And then stairs here again, cobblestone stairs, just like so. And then that's the exterior. Let's take a look now at the interior. We've got the overhanging blocks again. You probably want to convert these to copper stairs, like I said. But we have right on top of the previous stairs, the quartz stairs, put another layer, or more acanthus leaf detail on the interior. And then here, this is not a mistake. You do want to build the calcite in this pattern here, because you remember I talked at length about our rib vaulting, and these are the lowermost portions of the ribs taking shape. We also have the barrel vault taking shape here. With now we've gone up 3 blocks, and we're coming in 1 block with the lapis. And then mirror that over here. Extend up the stairs. And then repeat all that pattern again for the 2nd and 3rd bays. And then over here, just a little bit of detail for that pilaster. And then just straight cut copper on the back of the apse. All right, next phase here, we are now coming to the top of our Corinthian capitals, which is even more stone bricks to finish our acanthus leaves. Just like so. And you want to do the same deal you did with the stone bricks and everything on the previous one. Just hang them out 1 block farther out on all 4 faces of the columns and all 3 faces of the pilasters. Just like that there. There should only be now 1 block of air gap between the tops of those. Just like you see here. And then just a little bit back here for that one, just hugging around the corner of the building. And then we're back to cobble and a bit of diorite. There's the exterior arch upside, what is it? We have the upside down stone brick stairs here for that. Or rather, cobblestone stairs, sorry. And then just repeat that pattern for the other 3, for the remaining 2 arches there. And then back here we have our first little bit of roof tile coming in back here, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So we want to slow down a little bit. So we have some half slabs right here. Right there, 3 cobblestone half slabs, a full block. And then here for our raking cornice of just detailing at the back, we have just 2 stone brick slabs. And then here we have hanging out a full block of cobblestone, just straight run there. And then back behind that, we have this pattern of red nether brick and deep slate tile slabs back down in there. So I'll show you that from the top down. There's your pattern. And the exterior for that is just straight cobblestone blocks, just wrapping around there, right on top of all the upside down stairs we put down for the apse. Let's go back here now to the interior, straight run of cut copper across the front there. And back here we have some detailing, of course, for the acanthus leaf detailing for the interior pilasters. And the diorite, and the calcite there for the rib vaulting detail. And the lapis the detailing for the windows. The upside down stairs here, of course, again. And then repeat that again for the second bay and the third bay. And right here for the pilaster at the back. And then just a straight run of quartz blocks around the perimeter of the apse. Alrighty. Let's do, I'm going to do one more phase for today. We're going to start the bottom of the entablature, I think, today. And of course, good Roman entablature of my design, of course, it's diorite. Just all diorite, right on top of the columns, linking them to the building and everything. I'll show you from below what that looks like. Just like so, big squares there. Show you that from the top down. And then across the front, we do want to have it overhang by 2 blocks as well, on top of the Corinthian pilasters, and then overhang by just 1 block on the side here. All right, same detail for the windows. We're capping off 2 of the windows. The central window goes a little bit higher, and bring in 2 blocks on either side for the arch. Then repeat that pattern again for the second and third exterior window bays. Back here, same detailing again, just extending it up and over. And various combinations of a couple of cobble slabs and full blocks. For our roof here at the back, if you're a veteran of my Roman tutorials, you know this roof pattern by heart. It's the same one I use on pretty much all of them, except for the oldest ones. All of the deep slate tiles here are half slabs, and all the red of the bricks are full blocks. All right, for the exterior, cut back 1 block and do just a round section here for the apse of stone bricks. On the interior here, we want to hang over a block of the lapis, like so, straight run of that there at the front. And then curve around here, because this is for the interior entablature, which is made out of lapis, part of it, lapis and quartz. Right on top of our pilasters. And then continuing here for the calcite for the arches and the rib vaulting. One of these days I should do a dedicated tutorial on rib vaulting. It's a complex subject. It could benefit from its own video, really. There are a couple of others on YouTube that I've seen. Shells does a very good one that I've seen. But it's more of an abstract theory video than an actual building. But we've done enough architectural things over the years of Roman and now Gothic that it might benefit you if I stopped and just talk about various aspects of those. Because it's kind of like a toolkit that you can develop. Like once you know the basics of these things, you can use them as bits and pieces to make your own designed buildings if you so choose. That's kind of what I do with it. So, I mean, that's kind of on the list of tutorials or the videos to do, but I've got a sheet of paper with 50 to 100 topics of things I could make. It's a video production issue. It's not that I don't know what to do for it. It's just a matter of being able to sit and record them out and then edit and upload and all that. That's the real bottleneck in the process. Otherwise, I would already have 1,000 videos up on the channel for you, but maybe we'll get there someday. All right, and do straight lapis here along the interior of the apse. And I think that that is probably going to be just about all that I can talk for today. So we've made quite a lot of progress. We've gone all the way from the baseboards up to the bottom of the entablature, so that's a pretty good distance. I think the next section, I think we may need. I don't know if it's a four-parter or not. It depends on how well. It's definitely another full part where we talk about all of the vaulting and everything that we still have to do, and the very complicated roof and everything on this as well. But of course, we're saving the best for last, so I hope you are enjoying the Basilica Nova tutorial so far. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.